Welcome, dear friend. Tonight, leave the busy world behind and journey to the farm of kindness, where golden fields, gentle breezes, and peaceful skies invite your heart to rest. As the stars slowly appear and the countryside grows quiet, you'll discover simple moments of kindness, comfort, and hope. So take a slow, deep breath, relax, and let this gentle story guide you into a peaceful night's sleep. Good evening, my dear friend. Before our story begins, snuggle into your soft, warm bed. Pull your cozy blanket up to your shoulders. Close your eyes if you like and take one slow, gentle breath in and one slow, peaceful breath out. Tonight, we're traveling to a very special place. A place where the mornings smell like fresh flowers, the evenings glow with golden sunsets, and every kind deed makes the world just a little brighter. Welcome to the Farm of Kindness. Nestled between gentle green hills and sparkling little streams stood a beautiful old farmhouse with white wooden walls, a bright red roof, and cheerful blue shutters. Colorful flowers danced in the breeze around the front porch, while tall oak trees stretched their branches toward the wide blue sky. The farm was peaceful, very peaceful. The wind whispered softly through the grass. Little butterflies floated lazily from flower to flower. Honeybees hummed their quiet songs as they collected sweet nectar. Far away, a tiny brook bubbled gently over smooth, round stones, making the softest music anyone could imagine. Every morning, the animals woke slowly with the sunrise. The birds sang sweet melodies from the treetops. The cows stretched their legs before enjoying fresh green grass. The sheep wandered together across the fields, their fluffy wool glowing softly in the morning light. The ducks waddled happily toward the pond, leaving tiny footprints behind. Everything moved slowly, everything felt calm, and everyone was welcome. Living on this wonderful farm was a little bunny named Oliver. Oliver had the softest cream-colored fur, long floppy ears, and bright, curious eyes that sparkled whenever he discovered something new. He loved exploring. He loved helping Dot most of all. He loved asking questions. Every morning, Oliver would hop out of his cozy little bedroom, tucked beneath the farmhouse roof. He would carefully make his tiny bed, brush his fluffy tail, wash his little paws, and then hurry downstairs where the delicious smell of warm oatmeal filled the kitchen. Waiting there every morning was Grandma Daisy. Grandma Daisy was the kindest rabbit in the whole valley. Her silver fur shimmered gently in the sunlight, and her smile made everyone feel safe. She always wore a soft blue apron, covered with tiny embroidered flowers. Whenever she hugged someone, they felt warm inside, just like sitting beside a crackling fireplace on a cool evening. After breakfast, Grandma Daisy smiled at Oliver. "Good morning, my little explorer." "Good morning, Grandma," Oliver replied happily. "What adventure shall we have today?" Grandma Daisy chuckled softly. "Oh, adventures have a funny way of finding us." Oliver giggled. He loved when Grandma said mysterious things. Together they stepped outside. The fresh morning air smelled of grass, apples, and wildflowers. tiny birds fluttered through the sky. A family of butterflies danced around the garden. Everything seemed peaceful, but Oliver noticed something curious. Near the old stone path stood hundreds of beautiful flowers. Some glowed brightly, others shimmered gently. A few sparkled like tiny stars. Oliver had walked past these flowers every day, yet today they looked different. "Grandma," he whispered, "why do those flowers glow?" Grandma Daisy smiled her gentle smile. "Oh, you've begun to notice them." Oliver tilted his head. "Notice what?" "The flowers of kindness." Oliver blinked. "The flowers of kindness?" Grandma nodded. "You see, long ago, this farm received a very special gift." She pointed toward the colorful garden. "Every time someone does something kind without expecting anything in return, a new invisible flower begins to grow." Oliver looked around. "Invisible?" Grandma laughed softly. "At first, yes. But every kind word, every helping paw, every gentle smile, every caring heart helps that flower bloom." Oliver looked amazed. "So every flower tells a story?" "It certainly does." They walked slowly through the garden. Grandma gently touched one glowing sunflower. This flower appeared when Farmer Ben spent an entire afternoon helping his elderly neighbor repair a broken fence. They walked farther. She pointed toward a field of tiny blue blossoms. These grew after the birds shared their food during a difficult winter. Oliver's eyes became wide. "What about those pink flowers?" Grandma smiled. "A little squirrel planted those." "Really?" Grandma nodded. She spent weeks collecting acorns, not just for herself, but for every animal in the forest. Oliver looked across the enormous garden. So many flowers, so much kindness. The breeze became even softer. The flowers gently swayed together, almost as if they were smiling. Oliver suddenly became thoughtful. "What if—" "I've never planted one." Grandma knelt beside him. She gently placed a paw on his shoulder. "Oh, Oliver, you've planted more than you know, but kindness grows quietly. It doesn't shout. It doesn't ask for applause. It simply grows." Oliver looked up at the glowing sky. "I want to grow the biggest flower on the whole farm." Grandma chuckled. "The biggest flowers aren't grown by trying to be noticed. They're grown one kind moment at a time." Oliver smiled softly. Just then, a gentle breeze carried the sweet scent of lavender through the air. The wind whispered through the tall grass. The leaves rustled peacefully overhead. Far away, the little brook continued singing its quiet song. Oliver closed his eyes for just a moment. Everything felt safe. Everything felt calm, but everything felt full of love. As the golden morning slowly became afternoon, Oliver wandered happily around the farm, wondering where his very first new flower might appear. Perhaps today, perhaps tomorrow. Or perhaps kindness would surprise him when he least expected it. He didn't know, and somehow that made the adventure even more wonderful. The farm of kindness was full of little surprises. Some could be seen, others could only be felt, and every single day, someone's gentle heart made the farm a little brighter. As the sun slowly began to set behind the green hills, the sky turned soft shades of pink, orange, and lavender. Birds quietly returned to their nests. The sheep settled into the meadow. The cows rested peacefully beneath the old oak tree. Oliver stood beside Grandma Daisy on the porch. Together they watched the stars begin to appear, one by one. Grandma smiled. "Tomorrow," she whispered, "the farm has another story waiting." Oliver smiled too. He didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but he knew one thing for certain. Kindness always found its way home. And somewhere in the quiet garden, perhaps, a tiny invisible flower had already begun to bloom. The gentle breeze continued to sway the grass. The stars twinkled softly overhead. Everything was peaceful. Everything was calm. And the farm of kindness rested quietly beneath the night sky. Take one slow, peaceful breath in, and one gentle breath out. The farm is safe. The animals are asleep. The flowers are glowing softly. And tomorrow, a brand new adventure will begin. Good evening once again, dear friend. Settle into your cozy bed, pull your blanket a little closer, and let your body grow soft and still. Take one slow, gentle breath in and slowly breathe out. Tonight we return to the peaceful farm of kindness, where every sunrise brings a new adventure. Every breeze carries whispers of hope, and every kind heart helps a beautiful, invisible flower bloom. The stars had quietly faded from the sky. Soon, the first golden rays of sunshine peeked over the rolling green hills. Tiny drops of morning dew rested like sparkling diamonds upon the grass. The birds welcomed the new day with cheerful little songs. The cows stretched lazily. The sheep yawned softly. The ducks paddled peacefully across the quiet pond. Inside the farmhouse, Oliver the little bunny slowly opened his eyes. He smiled. Today felt special. He remembered Grandma Daisy's words from the night before. Tomorrow the farm has another story waiting. Oliver wondered what that story could be. After enjoying a warm bowl of creamy oatmeal with sweet honey and fresh berries, he stepped outside into the cool morning air. The breeze smelled of fresh grass and blooming lavender. Everything felt peaceful. Everything felt calm. As Oliver hopped along the winding garden path, he noticed something unusual. From somewhere nearby came a tiny sound. Peep. It was so quiet that Oliver almost thought he had imagined it. He stopped. The breeze became still. Again he heard it. Peep, peep. Oliver looked behind the flower bushes. Nothing. He peeked beneath the old wooden wheelbarrow. Nothing there either. He looked beside the apple trees. Still nothing. Then, near a patch of tall daisies, he heard the little sound once more. Peep. Oliver gently pushed aside the flowers. There, sitting all alone in the soft grass, was the tiniest yellow chick he had ever seen. Its fluffy feathers looked as soft as tiny clouds. Its little eyes were filled with worry. Its tiny feet trembled ever so slightly. "Oh," whispered Oliver kindly. "Hello there." The little chick looked up. I can't find my mommy." Oliver knelt carefully so he wouldn't frighten the little bird. "My name is Oliver. I'm your friend." The chick sniffled. "My name is Sunny." Oliver smiled warmly. "That's a beautiful name." Sunny looked around nervously. "I was following everyone this morning, and then I chased a butterfly. It was so pretty. But when I looked back, everyone was gone." A tiny tear rolled down Sunny's fluffy face. Oliver gently patted the little chick's shoulder. "It's all right. You don't have to be afraid. We'll find your mommy together." Sunny took a slow breath. "Really?" Oliver nodded. "Of course. No one should feel alone." Together they slowly walked through the peaceful farm. Oliver made sure not to hurry. Sunny's tiny legs were much shorter than his own, so Oliver matched each little step. The morning sunshine warmed their backs. Butterflies floated through the air. Honeybees buzzed softly among the flowers. Everything around them seemed to whisper, "Take your time. There is no rush." As they reached the vegetable garden, they met Mrs. Bella, the gentle goat. "Good morning, Oliver," she smiled. "And who is your little friend?" "This is Sunny," Oliver explained. "Sunny can't find their mommy." Mrs. Bella's kind eyes filled with concern. "Oh, dear," she thought for a moment. "I haven't seen Mother Hen today, but perhaps Daisy the duck has. She spends every morning near the pond." Oliver smiled. "Thank you." Sunny smiled too. "Thank you for helping." Mrs. Bella laughed softly. "Helping friends is one of the nicest parts of living on this farm." The two little friends continued walking. Soon they reached the sparkling pond. The water shimmered gently beneath the morning sun. Tiny fish swam lazily below the surface. Dragonflies hovered above the water like little blue jewels. Near the edge of the pond floated Daisy Duck and her 5 fluffy ducklings. "Good morning," called Oliver. Daisy Duck waved her wing. "Good morning. Good morning." Oliver explained everything. Daisy listened carefully. Then she nodded. "I did hear Mother Hen calling earlier." She sounded worried. "I think she went toward the old apple orchard." Sunny's tiny heart beat a little faster. "My mommy," Oliver smiled. "Let's go." The path to the orchard was peaceful. Tall grass swayed gently. The leaves danced in the breeze. Little squirrels skipped from branch to branch. Along the way, Oliver noticed something wonderful. Near the edge of the path, a tiny glowing flower had appeared. It was small, very small. Its petals shimmered softly like golden morning light. Oliver stopped. "So beautiful." Sunny looked too. "Where did it come from?" Just then, Grandma Daisy quietly appeared behind them. She smiled knowingly. "I believe someone planted that flower this morning." Oliver looked surprised. "I did?" Grandma nodded. "When you chose to stop. When you listened." When you helped someone who was frightened, a flower of kindness began to bloom. Oliver smiled. He hadn't been helping to earn a flower. He simply wanted Sonny to feel safe, Grandma gently said. That is exactly why kindness grows so beautifully. Sonny looked at the glowing flower with wide eyes. It shines, Grandma smiled. Kind hearts always do. They continued toward the apple orchard. The sweet smell of ripe apples filled the air. Red apples hung from every tree. A gentle breeze made the branches sway slowly. Suddenly, Sonny, a worried voice echoed through the orchard. Sonny's little head popped up. Mommy. From behind one of the apple trees hurried Mother Hen, her soft brown feathers fluttering as she ran. She wrapped her wings tightly around Sonny. Oh, my precious little one. I've been looking everywhere. Sonny hugged her tightly. I'm sorry. I followed a butterfly. Mother Hen kissed the top of Sonny's head. I'm just happy you're safe. Oliver quietly smiled. Seeing them together made his heart feel warm. Mother Hen turned toward Oliver. Thank you. I don't know how I could ever repay you. Oliver shook his head gently. You don't have to. I'm just glad Sonny isn't alone anymore. Grandma Daisy smiled from nearby. That, she whispered softly, is the true spirit of kindness. Just then, another tiny flower appeared beside the first one. Its petals glowed pale yellow, just like Sonny's feathers. A second flower. Then a third. Little by little, the garden beside the orchard became brighter, not because anyone wanted praise, not because anyone expected a reward, but because kindness has a wonderful way of growing wherever caring hearts meet. The afternoon drifted by peacefully. Mother Hen invited Oliver and Grandma Daisy to share warm apple pie beneath the oldest apple tree on the farm. The pie smelled of cinnamon. Fresh cream rested gently on top. Birds sang sweet songs overhead. The breeze carried tiny apple blossoms through the air. Sonny laughed happily again. The frightened little chick from that morning had disappeared. Now there was only a smiling little bird surrounded by friends. As the golden afternoon slowly turned into evening, Oliver and Grandma Daisy walked home together. The sun painted the sky with shades of pink, peach, and soft lavender. Fireflies began appearing one by one. The first evening stars twinkled quietly above. Oliver looked toward the little glowing flowers beside the orchard. They're beautiful, he whispered. Grandma Daisy nodded. They'll remind everyone that even the smallest act of kindness can help someone feel safe. Oliver smiled. I think kindness feels even nicer than I imagined. Grandma gently squeezed his paw. It always does. Together they walked slowly back to the farmhouse. The crickets began their peaceful evening song. The wind whispered through the tall grass. The old oak tree swayed gently beneath the quiet sky. Everything was peaceful. Everything was calm. The farm of kindness rested beneath a blanket of soft evening light. And somewhere in the quiet garden, a few more invisible flowers had already begun to bloom. Take one slow, peaceful breath in and gently breathe out. Imagine the little yellow flowers glowing softly in the moonlight. Imagine the gentle breeze brushing across the peaceful farm. The animals are safe. The stars are shining dot, and tomorrow, a new adventure will quietly bloom with the sunrise. Good night, dear friend. Sleep well. Sweet dreams. Good night, dear little dreamer. Before we begin tonight's gentle adventure, snuggle into your cozy bed and let your blanket keep you warm. Take one slow, peaceful breath in and slowly breathe out. Feel your shoulders relax. Feel your hands become soft and still. Now, let your imagination quietly wander back to the peaceful farm of kindness, where every sunrise brings hope, every sunset brings peace, and every act of kindness helps the world bloom just a little brighter. The morning arrived gently. Golden sunlight stretched across the rolling hills like a soft blanket. Tiny birds greeted the day with cheerful songs. The little stream sparkled as it danced over smooth stones. Wild flowers swayed gently in the cool morning breeze. Everything felt calm. Everything felt safe. Oliver the little bunny hopped happily down the farmhouse steps after breakfast. Grandma Daisy smiled from the porch. Have a wonderful day, my little explorer. Oliver smiled back. I will, Grandma. And I'll keep my eyes open for someone who needs a friend. Grandma nodded proudly. Sometimes the kindest hearts are simply the ones that notice. Oliver carried those words with him as he wandered across the peaceful fields. The sheep were grazing quietly nearby. Most of them munched happily on fresh green grass. But one little lamb sat all alone beneath a willow tree. Her fluffy white wool looked as soft as clouds. Her tiny ears drooped. Her bright eyes looked tired, very tired. Oliver walked over slowly. Good morning. The little lamb looked up and offered a tiny smile. Good morning. My name is Oliver. I'm Lily, the little lamb whispered. Oliver sat beside her beneath the shade of the willow tree. The leaves rustled softly overhead. A butterfly floated lazily between the flowers. Everything was peaceful, but Lily still looked worried. Oliver spoke gently. Are you feeling all right? Lily sighed. I am, I think. Oliver tilted his head. You don't sound very sure. Lily looked toward the distant hills. I haven't slept very well. Oliver listened quietly. Every night, I try to sleep, but my mind keeps thinking. I think about tomorrow. I wonder if I'll make mistakes. I wonder if everyone likes me. I wonder if I'll ever be brave. Oliver nodded kindly. He didn't interrupt. He simply listened. Sometimes listening is one of the greatest gifts we can give. After a quiet moment, Oliver smiled. My grandma says our thoughts are a little like clouds. Lily looked curious. Clouds? Oliver nodded. They float across the sky. We don't have to chase them. We don't have to hold on to them. We can simply watch them drift by. Lily looked up. White fluffy clouds floated peacefully overhead. Some were big, some were tiny. Some slowly disappeared into the bright blue sky. They really do just keep moving, she whispered. Oliver smiled. They never stay forever. Lily took one slow breath. She already felt a little lighter. Just then, Grandma Daisy came walking across the meadow, carrying a little woven basket. Inside were warm oat cookies and fresh mint tea. I thought you too might enjoy a little picnic, Oliver laughed happily. You always know. Grandma spread a soft blanket beneath the willow tree. The three friends sat together enjoying warm cookies while birds sang overhead. The breeze smelled of lavender and fresh grass. Nothing hurried, nothing rushed. After they finished eating, Grandma Daisy reached into her basket once again. This time she pulled out something very small, a tiny silver music box. She wound the little handle slowly, click, click, click. Then soft music began to play. It was the gentlest lullaby anyone had ever heard. The melody floated through the meadow like feathers drifting on the wind. The birds became quieter. The breeze slowed. Even the butterflies seemed to glide more gently. Lily closed her eyes. She listened carefully. This music feels safe, Grandma smiled. The best lullabies remind our hearts that everything is all right. Oliver leaned back against the willow tree. I think the whole farm is listening, and it almost seemed true. The sheep rested peacefully. The cows lay comfortably beneath the old oak tree. The ducks floated quietly across the pond. Even the little brook sounded softer than before. As the afternoon slowly passed, Oliver had an idea. What if we make tonight extra peaceful for everyone? Grandma smiled. I think that's a lovely idea. Together they gathered soft wildflowers. They fluffed cozy nests for the birds. They filled water bowls for thirsty animals. They brushed the ponies until their coats shined. They even gathered fresh hay for the sheep before sunset. Every small act made the farm feel warmer, kinder, more peaceful. As evening arrived, the sky turned shades of peach, pink, and lavender. Tiny fireflies began appearing among the flowers. The first stars twinkled overhead. Oliver looked toward Lily. How do you feel? Lily smiled. I don't feel so worried anymore. I think I'm actually getting sleepy. Oliver laughed softly. I'm glad. Grandma Daisy gently placed a soft wool blanket around Lily's shoulders. Tonight, she whispered, when your thoughts begin to wander, imagine them floating away like little clouds. And remember that tomorrow is another beautiful day. Lily nodded. I will. As darkness gently wrapped around the farm of kindness, every animal settled into its cozy home. The hens tucked their heads beneath their wings. The ducks floated quietly among the reeds. The horses rested peacefully inside the warm stable. The sheep curled together beneath the stars. Lily closed her eyes. She listened. The crickets sang softly. The breeze whispered through the willow branches. The little stream bubbled peacefully nearby. Above her, thousands of tiny stars sparkled like silver diamonds. Her thoughts came, then drifted away like clouds dot before long. Lily was fast asleep. A peaceful smile rested upon her face. Nearby, Oliver noticed something glowing beside the willow tree. Another flower of kindness had bloomed. Its soft white petals shimmered beneath the moonlight. Grandma Daisy smiled. This flower grew from something very special. Oliver looked closely. What was it? Grandma answered quietly. You gave someone the gift of being heard. You reminded a worried heart that it wasn't alone. Sometimes kindness isn't fixing a problem. Sometimes kindness is simply sitting beside someone until they feel safe again. Oliver smiled. The white flower glowed a little brighter. The breeze carried its sweet fragrance across the quiet meadow. Everything was peaceful. Everything was calm. The farm of kindness rested beneath a sky full of gentle stars. Take one slow, peaceful breath in and slowly breathe out. Imagine yourself lying beneath the old willow tree. Feel the cool evening breeze. Listen to the soft lullaby carried by the wind. Watch the stars twinkle high above Dot. Everything is safe. Everything is quiet. And somewhere nearby, another beautiful flower of kindness has quietly begun to bloom. Good night, dear friend. Sleep peacefully. Sweet dreams. Make yourself comfortable beneath your warm blanket. Close your eyes if you wish. Take one slow breath in and gently breathe out. Feel your whole body becoming calm. Your hands are relaxed. Your feet are cozy, your mind is peaceful. Now let us quietly return to the farm of kindness, where the trees whisper gentle songs, the stars watch over every sleeping friend, and kindness grows as naturally as flowers after a spring rain. As dawn softly painted the sky with pale pink and golden colors, the farm slowly awakened. The rooster gave a cheerful crow. Birds fluttered from branch to branch. The little brook giggled over smooth stones. Morning dew sparkled like tiny crystals across the fields. Oliver the little bunny stretched happily as he stepped outside. The fresh morning air smelled sweet. Very sweet. He took a deep breath. Apples, he whispered with a smile. Today was apple harvest day. It was one of Oliver's favorite days of the whole year. Every autumn, the old apple orchard became a sea of bright red, golden yellow, and rosy pink apples. The branches bent gently beneath the weight of the delicious fruit. The whole farm gathered together to pick them. Some apples would become warm pies. Some would become sweet cider. Some would be dried for winter. And many would simply be shared with family and friends. Grandma Daisy stepped onto the porch carrying 2 little woven baskets. Ready for our harvest? Oliver grinned. I've been ready since I woke up. Grandma laughed softly. I thought you might say that. Together they walked toward the orchard. The path wound through fields of golden grass. Butterflies drifted lazily through the cool morning air. A gentle breeze carried colorful leaves across the ground. Everything felt peaceful. Everything felt happy. When they arrived, the orchard was already filled with smiling friends. Mrs. Bella, the goat, waved from beneath a tree. Farmer Ben carefully climbed a wooden ladder. Mother Hen and little Sonny gathered apples that had fallen gently onto the soft grass. Even the squirrels were helping by carrying tiny apples in their little paws. Oliver looked around with excitement. So many apples, Grandma Daisy smiled. And more kindness than apples. Oliver wasn't quite sure what she meant. Soon everyone began picking fruit together. Oliver reached for a shiny red apple. Just as he was about to place it into his basket, he heard a tiny sigh. Nearby stood a little mouse named Pip, looked down at his nearly empty basket. He was very small. The branches were much too high. No matter how hard he tried, he simply couldn't reach the apples. Oliver quietly watched him. Pip never complained. He simply kept trying again and again and again. Oliver looked at his own basket. It was already beginning to fill. Without saying a word, he walked over. "Would you like some help?" Pip looked surprised. "You would help me?" "Of course," Oliver smiled. "We're neighbors." Together they worked side by side. Oliver gently reached the higher apples. Pip carefully carried each one into his basket. They laughed every time a leaf floated down onto their noses. Sometimes the biggest apples landed with a soft plop. Sometimes tiny apples bounced across the grass. The whole orchard filled with cheerful laughter. After a little while, Pip's basket was nearly full. His eyes sparkled with happiness. "I've never picked this many apples before," Oliver smiled. It was more fun together. As the sun climbed higher into the sky, everyone gathered beneath the oldest apple tree for lunch. Long wooden tables had been covered with colorful cloths. There were fresh sandwiches, warm vegetable soup, crunchy carrots, homemade bread, creamy butter. Honey, apple slices. And Grandma Daisy's famous cinnamon muffins. The delicious smell drifted through the orchard. Everyone found a place to sit. Just before lunch began, Farmer Ben stood up. "My friends," he said warmly, "before we eat, let's remember something important. The sweetest harvest isn't measured by how much we collect. It's measured by how much we share." Everyone nodded. Oliver looked around. Without anyone asking, the animals naturally began passing food to one another. The ducks shared their bread. The squirrels offered extra nuts. Mother Hen divided her apple pie into many little pieces. Even the youngest duckling proudly carried a tiny muffin to Grandma Daisy. Oliver noticed something wonderful. No one hurried. No one worried about having the biggest portion. Everyone smiled as they shared. The meal somehow tasted even better. After lunch, the breeze became softer. Golden leaves floated gently through the air. Birds sang peaceful afternoon songs. Grandma Daisy invited Oliver for a quiet walk through the orchard. As they wandered beneath the trees, Oliver noticed something glowing among the fallen leaves. Tiny flowers, dozens of them, red, golden, soft pink. Their petals shimmered gently in the afternoon sunlight. Oliver smiled. More flowers of kindness, Grandma nodded. Every time someone shares with an open heart, the orchard quietly thanks them. Oliver watched a tiny glowing flower appear beside Pip's basket. Another bloomed beneath the picnic table, another near the old ladder. It seemed as though kindness was blooming everywhere. But Grandma, Oliver asked, how can sharing make flowers grow? Grandma gently touched one glowing blossom, because sharing tells someone, you matter. There is enough for both of us. You are not alone. Those simple messages are some of the most beautiful things a heart can hear. Oliver thought quietly about those words. They felt true, very true. As the afternoon slowly drifted toward evening, something unexpected happened. Dark gray clouds floated across the sky. A cool breeze whispered through the orchard. Tiny raindrops began to fall. Plip, plop, plip. The rain wasn't loud, it wasn't stormy, it was gentle, soft, peaceful. Everyone laughed as they gathered beneath the biggest apple tree. The wide branches became a natural umbrella. Children giggled. The birds fluffed their feathers. The rain tapped softly upon the leaves above. It sounds like music, whispered Sonny. It does, Grandma Daisy agreed. They all listened together. No one spoke for a while. There was no need. The gentle rhythm of the rain filled every heart with peace. Soon, just as quietly as it had arrived, the rain drifted away. The evening sun peeked through the clouds. Across the orchard stretched the most beautiful rainbow anyone had ever seen. Its colors glowed softly above the peaceful farm. Every animal smiled. Every heart felt thankful. Oliver looked toward the glowing flowers. Now they sparkled beneath the rainbow. Somehow they seemed even brighter than before. Grandma Daisy smiled gently. Kindness grows in sunshine. It also grows in gentle rain. As twilight settled over the hills, everyone packed their baskets. Together, they carried apples back to the farmhouse. No basket felt too heavy, because many helping paws carried every load. The sky slowly turned lavender. Fireflies began dancing among the trees. The sweet scent of apples lingered in the cool evening air. Oliver paused before entering the farmhouse. He looked back one last time. The orchard shimmered quietly beneath the first stars. Tiny flowers of kindness glowed like little lanterns between the trees. He smiled. Today had not been special because of the apples. It had been special because everyone had shared them. Grandma Daisy gently rested her paw upon Oliver's shoulder. The happiest harvests, she whispered, are the ones gathered together. Oliver nodded. I think sharing makes every heart a little lighter. Grandma smiled. It certainly does. The farmhouse windows glowed with warm golden light. The animals settled into their cozy homes. The breeze whispered through the apple trees. The brook sang its gentle bedtime song. Above the peaceful farm, countless stars sparkled softly in the quiet night sky. Everything was peaceful. Everything was calm, but everything was filled with kindness. Take one slow, gentle breath in and slowly breathe out. Imagine yourself sitting beneath the old apple tree. Feel the cool evening breeze. Smell the sweet apples. Watch the tiny glowing flowers shining quietly beneath the stars. You are safe. You are warm. You are loved. And somewhere nearby, another beautiful flower of kindness has quietly begun to bloom. Good night, dear friend. Sleep peacefully. Sweet dreams. Snuggle beneath your warm blanket and let your body grow soft and still. Take one slow, peaceful breath in and gently breathe out. Feel your heart become calm. Feel your thoughts become as light as little clouds floating across a quiet blue sky. Now let us return once more to the peaceful farm of kindness, where every sunrise brings hope, every sunset brings gentle dreams, and every kind heart helps the whole farm glow just a little brighter. The morning arrived differently today. Instead of bright golden sunshine, soft gray clouds floated gently above the rolling hills. The wind whispered quietly through the tall grass. Tiny raindrops rested on every flower like sparkling little pearls. The air smelled wonderfully fresh. It smelled of wet earth, green leaves, and blooming lavender. Oliver the little bunny peeked out of his bedroom window. Oh, he smiled. It's a rainy day. Grandma Daisy looked up from the kitchen as she poured warm oatmeal into 2 little bowls. The rain is very gentle today, Oliver nodded happily. I like gentle rain. Grandma smiled. So do I. It gives the flowers something to drink. After breakfast, Oliver pulled on his tiny yellow raincoat and little rain boots. Grandma wore her favorite blue rain cape. Together they stepped outside. Soft raindrops landed quietly on their hoods. Plip, plop, plip. Nothing hurried, nothing rushed. The whole farm seemed to move a little more slowly today. The ducks were delighted. They splashed happily through tiny puddles. The frogs sang cheerful little songs beside the pond. The sheep gathered beneath a large maple tree where they stayed warm and dry. As Oliver and Grandma Daisy walked along the winding path toward the little wooden bridge that crossed the brook, Oliver noticed something unusual. The bridge looked crooked. One of the wooden planks had slipped out of place. Another had cracked during the night. The little brook flowed peacefully underneath, but the bridge no longer looked safe to cross. Just then, Farmer Ben arrived carrying a small toolbox. Mrs. Bella, the goat, came with a bundle of sturdy wooden boards. 2 beavers waddled over with smooth logs balanced on their shoulders. Even Pip, the little mouse, carried a tiny pouch filled with nails. Oliver blinked in surprise. Everyone came to help. Grandma Daisy smiled warmly. That's what neighbors do. Farmer Ben gently tapped the broken plank. We'll have this fixed before lunchtime. Oliver looked at the bridge. What can I do? Farmer Ben knelt beside him. Every helper matters. You could hand us the tools. Oliver's face lit up. I'd love to. The work began slowly. There was no rushing, no shouting. The rain continued falling softly. As everyone worked together, Oliver carried the hammer carefully. Pip rolled tiny nails across a smooth leaf. The beavers gently lifted the new wooden beam into place. Mrs. Bella steadied the ladder with her strong legs. Grandma Daisy passed warm cups of mint tea to everyone whenever they needed a little rest. Even the birds joined in. They gathered small twigs and moss to make the bridge look beautiful again. The little brook bubbled happily beneath them. It almost sounded as though it were saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." After a while, Oliver noticed someone standing quietly nearby. It was Timmy, the little turtle. He looked worried. "I want to help," Timmy whispered, "but I'm too slow." Oliver smiled kindly. He sat beside Timmy beneath a little umbrella. "Who told you that?" Timmy looked down. "No one. I just feel slow." Oliver thought for a moment. Then he remembered something Grandma Daisy had once told him. There are many ways to help. You don't have to be the fastest. You just have to care. Timmy looked up. "Really?" Oliver nodded. "Of course." Just then Grandma Daisy walked over. She smiled gently. "Timmy, I have the perfect job for you." She handed him a little basket filled with fresh towels. "As everyone finishes working, could you help dry their paws?" Timmy's eyes grew wide. "I can do that." For the rest of the morning, Timmy carefully greeted every helper with a warm towel. "Here you go. I hope this helps." Everyone thanked him with smiling faces. Soon Timmy realized something wonderful. Every helper was important, not because they all did the same job, but because each one shared what they could. Oliver quietly smiled. Sometimes kindness means lifting heavy beams. Sometimes kindness means offering a warm towel. Both matter. As the rain slowly became lighter, the bridge was almost finished. Farmer Ben gently tapped the final wooden peg into place. Done. Everyone stepped back. The little bridge looked stronger than ever before. Its fresh wooden boards gleamed softly with tiny raindrops. Beautiful flower boxes had been added to each side. Little white daisies smiled from the corners. Birds perched happily along the railings. It wasn't simply repaired. It had become even more beautiful than before. Everyone clapped softly, not loudly. Just enough to celebrate together. The clouds slowly drifted apart. Golden sunshine peeked through. Tiny drops of rain sparkled like diamonds upon the grass. Then something magical happened. A rainbow stretched across the entire valley. Its beautiful colors reflected in the little brook below. Oliver gasped. "It's beautiful." Grandma Daisy smiled. Rain often leaves behind wonderful surprises. Just then, Beside the bridge, tiny glowing flowers began appearing one by one. Blue flowers, silver flowers, soft lavender flowers. Each one shimmered gently beneath the rainbow. Oliver laughed softly. The flowers of kindness. Grandma nodded. Every helping paw planted one today. Oliver counted them. There were so many. One beside Farmer Ben. One beside Mrs. Bella. One beside Pip. One beside each beaver. One beside Timmy. Even one beside the little birds. Then, to Oliver's surprise, a tiny golden flower bloomed right beside his rain boots. He looked at Grandma. I only handed out tools. Grandma gently shook her head. You encouraged Timmy. You reminded him that every kind heart has something valuable to give. Oliver looked at the little golden flower glowing beside him. Its petals sparkled brighter than the raindrops. He smiled quietly. Helping someone believe in themselves was a very special kind of kindness. By afternoon, the rain had completely stopped. The whole farm smelled wonderfully fresh. The trees shimmered with tiny drops of water. Butterflies returned to the gardens. The ducks floated happily across the pond. Everyone gathered near the farmhouse porch. Grandma Daisy served warm vegetable soup with fresh bread. Steam curled gently into the cool afternoon air. The soup tasted especially delicious after a rainy morning. As everyone ate together, laughter floated softly through the farm. No one talked about how much work they had done. Instead, they talked about how nice it had been to work together. Oliver looked around the table. Every smiling face made his heart feel warm. He realized something. The bridge had not only connected two sides of the little brook dot, it had connected friends even more closely. As evening arrived, the sky turned shades of peach and lavender. The rainbow slowly faded. The first stars began to twinkle above the quiet valley. Oliver and Grandma Daisy walked slowly home. They crossed the newly repaired bridge together. The wooden boards felt sturdy beneath their feet. The little brook sang peacefully below. Halfway across, Oliver stopped. He looked down at the glowing flowers lining both sides of the bridge. They'll remind everyone, he whispered. That kindness builds more than bridges. Grandma Daisy smiled. Yes, it builds trust. It builds friendship. And it builds a place where everyone feels they belong. Oliver squeezed Grandma's paw gently. I think this might be my favorite rainy day ever. Grandma laughed softly. I had a feeling you might say that. The farmhouse windows glowed with warm golden light. The smell of fresh bread drifted from the kitchen. Crickets began their quiet evening song. The wind whispered gently through the trees. The little brook continued its peaceful melody beneath the beautiful bridge. Everything was peaceful. Everything was calm. Everything was exactly as it should be. Take one slow, gentle breath in and slowly breathe out. Imagine yourself walking across the little wooden bridge. Listen to the gentle sound of the flowing water. Feel the cool evening breeze. Watch the tiny flowers of kindness glowing softly beneath the stars. You are safe, you are warm, you are surrounded by kindness, and somewhere, quietly blooming beside the bridge, another beautiful flower of kindness has opened its petals beneath the moonlight. Good night, dear friend. Sleep peacefully. Sweet dreams.